yeah, Twilight, they sit around and talk, and I just feel that if the vulture poultry are that much, we drink human blood, they're not really going to go, okay, we'll stop drinking human blood, and we won't kill Bella, even though she went against the rules that we have based our entire life on, because she's the perfect little princess vampire thingy. It doesn't make sense for characters to do that. It doesn't make sense for somebody who has really harsh beliefs to just suddenly change them because somebody went, ooh, we'll talk. When war was kind of on the cards. I mean, it's a nice thought. It isn't practical. It isn't believable. But then that's Twilight. Twilight doesn't try to be plausible, particularly. It doesn't try to seem to fit into real life. I mean, Stephenie Meyer can make all these references to things that exist in real life. I mean, bands, music she uses so much trying to be in and popular, I find, a lot of the time. And cars, she names all the cars, which I think is just kind of ridiculous, because the typical fan base reading these books don't know what those cars are. I mean, I don't know what most of those cars are. I mean, when she goes, I can sort of go, when she goes, Ferrari, I'm like, oh, that's probably a good car then. But when she's like, Ferrari X69Q thing with a 6-litre engine, it's like, sorry, do girls know this sort of stuff? I mean, I know some girls know this sort of stuff. My friend Yasmin, she knows this sort of stuff. She can insult people's cars in what they're driving. Just like, well, it's only got a 2.6-litre engine, and I'm like, is that bad? And she's like, well, apparently it is. So, you know, I know some girls understand this sort of stuff. I just feel that the sort of girls who would read this book are not the sort of girls who care that it's a sports car. So it's just, Stephenie Meyer is trying to ground in reality by making these things, but just the sheer implausibility of the characters, I find, wrecks the immersion a little. Okay, my 20th point, my penultimate point, is the writing. And let me start by bringing up a much-used piece of criticism. Stephenie Meyer's work is like a bad piece of fanfic. No, it's not. Seriously. I have read bad fanfic. I write fanfic, I read fanfic, I know what bad fanfiction is. Her writing style is good. It flows well. I mean, for the chapter I read, the one chapter I read, I managed to read it to the end. It flows nice, it's, you know, good grammar, good punctuation, a nice use of words, although I have heard that some get overused a lot, particularly to describe Edward's beauty. I feel what the people are trying to get at when they claim it's like bad fanfic is in terms of what happens in the story, it being this sort of true love and everything works out fine, and the character of Bella being something of a Mary Sue. It's the kind of idealized perfect world you get in bad Spike/Buffy fanfiction written by a 13-year-old. In that it ignores all the possible problems and complications and, you know, the questions that would be raised in favour of true love. True love. So, and I've lost my point here somewhere. But, the Saga. I do like the writing style in the Saga. I find it sort of, it's quick, it's fast-paced, it includes only what's necessary, and sometimes that is lengthy detail at times because you need it. It's sort of rapid-fire. Action sequences I find particularly good in the Saga, especially fights. The flow of a battle, the quick action and swords and axes and this sort of thing, it's remarkably good, it's remarkably well written, and Darren Shan is one of the best authors I have read who manages that. I mean, in the Demonata books, it's even more gory, even more gross, and he's really gotten better the more he's got used to it. But I admire the writing style of both authors. I do not like the choice of subject that Stephenie Meyer chose in writing A Vampiric Wet Dream, effectively. She could probably write something halfway decent if she had a good idea, because her writing style's good. I just, you know, just like the whole perfect true love vampire bullshit. And here is point 21, my final point, and this is Darren Shan knew when to quit. a little piece of news for you. The Saga of Darren Shan was planned as being 18 books long. Darren Shan wrote a draft of the 12th book, had it done, and he writes drafts a lot ahead of time. He has about 5 or so books ahead of himself, which is good for continuity. He is remarkably good at that because of this. So, he'd written a draft of book 12, moved on to 13, started writing, and changed his mind. Because he felt the story had ended at book 12. The character of Darren had matured into an adult, and you cannot have an adult narrator in what is supposed to be a children's book, at least in his eyes, and I agree with it. And with the final product of book 12, I can't go against his decision, because I think it works remarkably well. It summarises the series, and although I shall never know what it would have been like had the book been 18 books long, and maybe it would have been better, but I just, I feel it was a pretty ballsy decision he took to cut the series short when 18 books had been promised, and the money he could have made from those extra 6 books. But he stayed true to what he felt of the characters, and it was history, and he made that decision. Stephenie Meyer, on the other hand, flogged the dead horse for all it was worth. The dead vampire horse. Because it was meant to be 3 books. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, at least I think that's the order. And then you got Breaking Dawn, because people wanted more. Because the publishers wanted more. Because she wanted more moolah. Money, money, money. And I can't hate her for it, because there's people out there buying it. And she just, but I feel if she really had integrity as an author, if she really felt true to the characters and respected them the way you should respect creations, inventions of your own mind and stuff, if you treat them right and not just as a big fat paycheck the way she has. So that's my 21st point. Oh no, wait, no, sorry, I just read my note and I got another point. Not only did she continue to beat the dead horse for what it's worth, the dead vampire horse, but I'm not sure if it's now cancelled and never going to happen, but I know at least at one point there was going to be a reworking of the series from Edward's point of view, and then she threw a hissy fit because someone leaked some of it onto the internet. It's like, I'm sorry, I know it must really hurt, to have your creative work shown before it's ready, and for people to be getting it for free when they should be paying for it, because, it is your creative work, and I still just feel that if she had truly tracked Twilight in what it was supposed to be, as just a book she wrote, because she wanted to, because it was a book she had it planned, she didn't need to, and she just wanted to. If she had stuck to what she originally had planned, instead of going along and trying to make more money and stuff, I can't respect her for doing that. It just... boo. So, wow, I'm done with my notes. So, those are my 21 reasons why the Saga of Darren Shan is better than Twilight. If you're going to flame me, go ahead, but I won't reply. If I have made mistakes somewhere along the line, genuine, actual mistakes, please call me on it. Don't call me on stuff that I didn't make a mistake on. Don't tell me that I'm, interpreting stuff incorrectly when it's my personal choice. If it exists in the story, and I interpret it in a way you don't like, sorry, it exists in the story, and I'm free to interpret it in that way. And my final point, if you do wish to argue these points further, please do as I have done. Use evidence from the books. I've maybe not done the best at doing this, but I've tried to support myself. And just, don't resort to insulting me, because I get enough of it and I'm used to it, and I will just laugh